Alright everyone, we're going to be having a look at a build for the Fragor Prime, which is obviously very powerful hammer. It's actually a heavy crit weapon, so that's why we're going to be using a heavy crit build. But it's actually capable of using a hybrid build that actually works in line with light attacks and heavy attacks in order to make the weapon really good. Here is the build. We are using, of course, Sacrificial Pressure and Sacrificial Steel to make this weapon really strong. That actually brings us 275% extra critical chance ×2 for heavy attacks, which is really good. Obviously, that means that this weapon is going to do a little bit better against sentients as well, although that generally doesn't really need to mean anything, at least for me, because my Paris Prime is really powerful. Otherwise, we're going for viral damage as well, so that we can actually have 40% roughly status chance. That actually does mean that every so often we do get to put in at least a handful of viral procs, depending on what we're trying to go for. But really, that viral damage is just so that we can do even more damage against most enemies in the game. Otherwise, Blood Rush and Corrupt Charge put together means that we do have quite a lot of extra crit chance on top of the 150% crit chance that we are currently using for the Fragor Prime, also known as the God Hand Crusher, as I have called it, and of course Prime Fury, because why the hell not? And we are actually going to be using Amalgam August Shatter instead of Killing Blow, simply so that we can further increase the damage of both our heavy attacks and also our light attacks. So that is really good. Now, in terms of the stance, I do actually sometimes switch between the two. So sometimes I use Crushing Ruin and sometimes I use Shadowy Storm. I feel like just in general gameplay, I like Shadowy Storm a little bit more than Crushing Ruin, but that's just my personal preference. That being said, in a magnetized bubble, for example, a Crushing Ruin might actually be a little bit more effective, simply because of the spin attacks. We're able to get our 12 times combo multiplier, Mombo Cultiplier, as I was about to call it, with those spins in a magnetized bubble, so that's really good. That's really the idea of this particular video. This weapon is, I think, highly recommended. It comes out with a combo multiplier of, I believe, about 30 right from the gate, which makes it actually really powerful against one enemy without using magnetized at all. Obviously, your corrupted heavy gunners, they do have a lot of armor, but the heavy attacks, as you can see there with those red crits, are actually going to do a lot of damage if you decide to get in a nice little combo first off. You can do even more damage, and that's really powerful. So generally speaking, with a build like this, you're really just using the light attacks against most enemies in the game, but you are going to be using your heavy attacks against pretty much the big enemies in the game. Against the more balanced out looking team, where we have some light enemies and some heavy enemies, there's no point using a heavy attack against the lighter enemies. Instead, you could actually save the heavy attacks for the big enemies like your bombards and your heavy gunners. And of course, in lower levels, you don't really need to worry about the heavy attacks on the bigger enemies either, because they're just simply too weak. They will pretty much die instantly. Like so. So that's basically the Fragor Prime. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Do you think you will be using a Fragor Prime in the near future? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more WarFrame content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye!